Welcome to another episode of This Woman Works. I am your host, Mike Patton. And on this episode, I have someone that is definitely a legend in the things that she does, and she does them legendarily. That would be the producer, the host, the journalist. I'm running out of space to think of titles, just multi-hyphenated, Jill Munroe. How are you doing?
I'm amazing. Thank you so much for inviting me on your platform. I love the concept. I love that you are honoring women. So thank you for taking space for us.
Yes, of course. Always, always. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for a beautiful Black woman, which is my mom, and I thank her very much. But yeah, we're going to get into your journey. I want everyone to get to know you more and know how you became who you are currently now, which is someone that everyone should know in the business. But we're going to get into that and more. But first, when I open up every show, I do the Black Girl Magic moment. It could be an event that happened, could be a person. In this episode, it is a person, and that would be Mary J. Blige. Now, you can't think of 90s R&B and not think of Mary J. Blige. Every Black woman I know in the 90s loved them some Mary J. Blige, had their hair done like Mary J. Blige, or was singing a Mary J. Blige song at some point during their day. So some refer to her as the queen of hip hop soul or queen of R&B. She's a 9-time Grammy Award winner, 12-time NAACP Image Award winner, and 12-time Billboard Music Award winner, including the Billboard Icon Award. Now, of course, 1998 is when her career began. She actually started out with Uptown Records, was signed by Andre Harrell. And of course, took a minute. She hadn't had to hone her skills, wait her turn, things like that. But in 1992, she came with what's the 411. And that's when her legend began, because pretty much everyone was listening to that album, playing that album, talking about that album. You had songs like Real Love, Love No Limit, You Remind Me, and plenty others on that album as well that people loved and replayed over and over and over again. Of course, I think CDs were getting, or I don't know if CDs were around quite just then. Maybe in tapes, you hit the rewind button. I don't know. Anyway, people were playing them over and over and over again. And from there, of course, everything else took off as well. But, what people didn't quite understand, I don't think at that point in time, is all the things that she was overcoming to make it where she was. She was, from common knowledge, she was molested at the age of 5. She actually, withstood, and endured sexual harassment as a teenager. She turned to drugs and alcohol because of those different things that affected her. She also dropped out of high school as a junior as well. So she overcame a lot of different things and still is very, very successful. She is very, very successful. And just to give you a rundown of all the great things she did, the albums she dropped in the 90s. We've got What's the 411? Then was My Life in 1994, then Share My World in 1997, then the self-titled Mary album in 1999. She was the soundtrack to the 90s for a lot of Black women, and she still continues to make music now. Of course, the song that she most recently came out with, Good Morning Gorgeous, which my mom absolutely loves that song. So, I wanted to give her her recognition on this show, This Woman Works, because of all the great things that she's done, the great things that she's overcome, and just the incredible story of her life and all the things that she has been able to do despite any of the odds that were may have been stacked against her. Jill, did you have anything you wanted to add to that?
Man, shout out to Mary J. Blige. I'm a one Mary fan. Can't forget Academy Award nominated Mary J. Blige. Monet on Power, which, don't want to spoil it if somehow you Power fans didn't check out Ghost, but, Mary's that girl, always has been. So I love
Yes,
Mary.
definitely. I've got to include the acting. I didn't include the acting. I guess the music kind of
I
took
thought
over
you
my
were
mind.
focusing on music, but, and when we get into my story, we'll get into why I'm connecting all of it because that's sort of what I do. So, yeah.
Got you, got you. Well, let's not wait anymore. Let's get into your story. But we're going to start off with the young version of you, in terms of not calling anybody's age. I'm just saying when you were a kid. That's all I'm saying. So, where did you grow up? For those that aren't aware.
I am in Los Angeles, native and raised and grew up in an area called Ladera Heights. It's become popular as far as media spaces go. If you watched Insecure, it's mentioned on there. The new series on Hulu, Reasonable Doubt, the neighborhood is talked about a lot. So that's where I'm from. That's where I grew up.
Now that is like that is pretty much a black neighborhood in LA, because I've actually been there. I drove through there. So yeah, definitely is a good neighborhood. Isn't it near like Baldwin Hills?
View Park, Baldwin Hills, and Ladera Heights are all within about a 3 to 5 mile maybe radius of each other. They're collectively, to some, known as the Black Beverly Hills because in the 60s and early 70s, when there were still barriers to entertainers getting into Beverly Hills, they would move in these areas. So,
Nice, nice. I still remember Baldwin Hills from the show on BET. Yeah.
which I actually worked on when I worked at BET. So,
Oh wow. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember the guy that was playing football and he ended up going to play at UCLA. And I remember watching him and he said, "Hey, it's the guy from Baldwin Hills." That's what I used to say every time I used to see him. But just kind of rewinded back. How was it like? How was it growing up in Ladera Hills? Correct? Ladera Hills did I say it right? Ladera Hills or Heights?
Ladera Heights. Ladera Heights.
Ladera Heights. See, I'm
Ladera
just
Heights,
crossing those
Baldwin
names,
Hills.
right?
Okay, it's okay. It was really great. I mean, we talk a lot about Black excellence, but something that I grew up with. I grew up seeing. So, it was home to, as I mentioned, some entertainers, politicians, judges, executives. So you got a good mix of things. Obviously, it's right next door to South Central LA, Leimert Park and those things. So I feel like you got a bit of everything being in this neighborhood and getting to see some of the best and brightest.
Got you, got you. So growing up, I mean, you can come out your house and see somebody that, hey, that person's involved in this, that person's involved in that, and you'd be like, okay, cool. So basically, you would see the stars or the politicians or those different people as everyday people, basically being part of your neighborhood.
Correct. We went to school with, some of the kids, their parents were working musicians, actors and actresses, or around entertainment industry. Their parents were politicians, or there were kids themselves that were working actors that I went to school with. And then, there's just regular kids where their parents just worked normal jobs and were providing for their families. So like I said, it was a good mix of everything.
Nice, nice. So with all that you saw and where you grew up, I know it had to be a lot of different things that influenced what you wanted to be, but there's always that one thing that first captures our attention growing up that was like, okay, I want to be that when I grow up. Like with me, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a pro football player. Now, obviously, I didn't become that. I made it to college playing college football, but didn't make it to the NFL. But what was the one thing growing up that you were like, okay, I want to be that when I grow up?
So, because as you mentioned, the environment and what you could see, I felt like at 6, I knew I wanted to be involved in the entertainment industry. But then it's just, you're a kid. You just want to be a star, you want to perform and things of that nature. But when I was 12, I had a neighbor who worked for a record label, and they took me to Soul Train, and I got to see the inner workings of Soul Train. New Edition happened to be well, not happened to be, that's why they took me. New Edition was performing. So I was like, I don't know what he does, but whatever he does, I want to do that, because you get to go to Soul Train and see your favorite group. So I knew at that point I wanted to work in the music industry. And so that was what early on.
Got you, got you. Now, of course, we're going to get into your career and how that kind of developed and, I guess evolved over time. But first, I want to give folks, a little breather. Let them take a quick commercial break. Get some water, whatever they need to do, because we're definitely going to go on a journey with you, learning how you became who you are on This Woman Works. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash are two of the best beard grooming products for men worldwide. They help promote growth, keep your beard moisturized and soft, and enhance your overall upkeep of your facial hair. And with the new promo code MPAFC10, you can get 10% off all these products. Just go to www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. Again, that's www.etsy.com/shop/EBO Beard Butter. And again, the promo code MPAFC10. Again, MPAFC10, where you can get 10% off any products except for beard boxes. So treat your beard better today by going to get these the EBO Beard Butter and EBO Beard Wash.
All right, and we are back on This Woman Works. And, Jill, I know this may have been going through your mind. Why does he have a beard commercial on a show called This Woman Works?
No, because women buy beard products for their men. Men probably watch this to get, in touch with women. So I'm not judging. I think that it's for everybody.
Hey, well, you kind of get my point. That's what I was like, look, we don't always take care of ourselves. The women in our lives always probably take care of us better than what we did. Let me be honest. Let's be honest. There's a lot of men that probably never got
to. She wanted skincare, didn't she? Right? Of course she did.
A little bit. Of course, manicures and pedicures. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dudes that never probably even thought to get one, and then all of a sudden, boom, now they going to get manicures and pedicures. But hey, it's good for you, and it feels good,
right?
And it's healthy. So, people got to learn that. People got to learn.
So each one teach one. So you learn things that way.
That's right. That's right. But speaking of learning, your career. Now you mentioned you early on wanted to be in the entertainment and different things like that. So how did you kind of make your way into that field of journalism, producing, hosting, all those different things? How did you kind of make your way first into that field?
So I kind of went backwards in. As I said, I wanted to be in the music industry. So I went full force into that. At the time when I started college, there was not a music industry major. So I figured it out, and I ended up in an internship. I worked in the music industry for a little while. And at the time, that was when it was going through things like LimeWire and Napster. There was a lot of consolidation within the industry, and it was changing. And so at that point, I knew it was just a matter of time before I got rolled out, so to speak, because there were a lot of layoffs and things happening. And my interest was in sports. So just based on where I lived, it's like, where can I work? I either want to work for an NBA team, or I want to work for Nike, because they were located in Marina Del Rey at that. So that's what I set my sights on. went to work at Nike, got to work on a bunch of different initiatives with different athletes in our entertainment division. I worked in brand marketing. So that started fusing some things I love together, entertainment and sports. So from there, after Nike, I worked at BET, and I was there for a while. Some things were shifting and changing there. And I was trying to figure out, as my role was changing, what I could do for my next role. And I focused on the digital side, and I wanted to create about sports and the lifestyle of athletes at this time. And this was when I mentioned I worked on Baldwin Hills. So it was during that time period when that was going on. And I started a website, JocksonStilettoJill.com. In college, as I mentioned, even though I wanted to work in the music industry, there was no major. My major was communications. My emphasis was PR. But in that, you take journalism classes. So that was sort of my background. I decided to start a site. The site took off, and eventually I ended up leaving my corporate job to run this sort of mix of sports and entertainment called JocksonStilettoJill.com. And that's what started it.
Nice, nice. Definitely a journey that many would love to go on. It sounds like fun. It really sounds like fun.
I mean, I had a lot of fun. I worked for a lot of great companies, big companies. I worked with a lot of, people that are icons. I got a chance to work on campaigns at Nike with Kobe. When I was in the music industry, I got to work with Mariah Carey, Aaliyah, Janet Jackson. So I got to do a lot of fun stuff, but I was always intentional about where I wanted to be and what I thought was happening within the industry and how I could best utilize that.
Okay. All right. All right. So, as far as you said, you said you made the transition to eventually doing it for yourself.
Mhm.
Um, when did you kind of start, knowing it was the time to kind of seriously make that transition from where you were to where you are?
Well, I saw a lot of things in the industry that for me, there were moments when I felt whenever there is a regime shift within a company, and this is across any industry or things like that, things change internally. There's a lot of mergers that we see happening. The difference in business when hedge funds get involved and how they want to companies. And it just made me feel uneasy about my positioning and what could happen next. So I saw some of the things that were happening within the digital space. And for me, it seemed initially, if I didn't get into it to make money per se, or because I thought, ooh, this is my path to freedom, it was more about doing something that was fun and learning a new skill set. So in my mind, oh, I'm learning this skill set. I'll take it back with me to corporate and I can enhance my jobs there and get more job security. But as I started making more money, and let's face it, if you can be in control of your day to day, who wouldn't want that? Now, there's a lot of responsibility and there is a downside to that. But for me, I just felt like it was the right choice because there were so many shifts and changes that were happening.
Got you, got you. So, I know in any journey, there's always a moment that you're just like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. So, what was that moment for you when you knew you jumped into entertainment and being around a lot of different places like ESPN, BET, that you were just like, okay, I'm where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the industry I'm supposed to be in. This is my place to be.
I feel like there's always little things along the way that I guess encourage you to keep going. Maybe it's the way I think. I don't know if I've had that one moment, but there are things that for me encouraged me to keep going. I don't know. I suppose there could be a big moment, but I don't know what that would be, just because I feel like there's always, for me, there's something next. Like, okay, what's the next thing I can do? Where's the next area that I can expand in. So
Okay.
I don't know if that's the answer, but
That is a-okay. Because this show is about you. As you see, there are flowers in the background. Those are flowers towards you. We're giving people their flowers on shows. So, so yeah, definitely. And I would be remiss if I didn't ask, what was one of the biggest moments you felt that actually put you on the map? For like, okay, well, everybody's knowing me now. So, at that type
for
of moment,
journalism or for journalism, yeah.
for either.
Um, it would have to be when I've been out someplace and someone will walk up to me and say, "Oh, you're Jill Munroe, or you're Stiletto Jill. I used to read your site, or I saw that interview you did with such and such." That's still crazy to me because I'm like, really? Not that I don't think that people watch, but it's just crazy when you cross paths with people because so much of it is just what seems to be, a number of view, but you actually get in contact with people. It's still amazing to me that they thought enough to come up and compliment me on it. So
Yeah, that I've had that happen maybe once or twice. And I'm like, wow, they got the right person. Is Austin Kutcher around here somewhere? Am I getting punked? That's what really goes through my mind when it happened. Do you have those kind of thoughts as well? Kind of like, okay, is this really happening?
not not in that way. It's just like because it's been in random, like I was in New York one time and someone recognized myself and one of my co-hosts that we used to host a power after show. And I'm like, I'm way in New York. What are you talking about? How random is that? Or in the grocery store, if someone you're like, no, this happens for celebrities, not those that are, you know, reporting on it or corresponding with it. So that was
Mhm.
kind of cool.
Awesome, awesome. But I know, of course, in any journey, there is obstacles, there is things that you have to overcome, things like that. I'm going to ask you about that. But first, of course, we do have to take another break on This Woman Works.
A shift. A shift is something that happens and changes the dynamics. And that's what happened when Garrett Logistics was born. After 10 years as a sales pro in the logistics world of sporting goods, John Garrett decided to pivot to the world of freight and start a brokerage. So you're saying to yourself, why trust Garrett Logistics? Well, Garrett Logistics helps shippers improve overall workflow, along with increased on-time pickup and delivery percentages. Last-minute loads, multi-drop pickups, and more are part of the services with Garrett Logistics. They're available Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m., all times Central Standard Time. So give them a ring at 615-400-8484. That's 615-400-8484, or you can email them at john@garrettlogistics.co or visit their website at garrettlogistics.co. Garrett Logistics, where the motto is, it's not just freight to us, it's your business.
All right, and we are back on This Woman Works with Jill Munroe. And I wanted to, like I mentioned before the break, obstacles, they're definitely there along anybody's journey. And I know your journey, there definitely probably had to be some obstacles, especially in the entertainment and sports industry. What was one of the obstacles that you faced in the industry along your journey?
I think, I mean, you touched on it being a woman, being a Black woman in sports and entertainment, you definitely face certain biases and perceptions that you have to go up against. And it's about maneuvering. On the journalism side, there are those same things, but with that, it's also about funding. At the time when I started out, there weren't a lot of sites that were kind of delving into the lifestyle and showcasing fashion and who they were dating and those type of things. So initially, you receive a lot of pushback from people. They're dismissive, but now you look at the landscape and all of the things that I was talking about and highlighting, and the way that I was doing it is pretty much par for the course in mainstream sports journalism. I would say, if you look at shows like Gil's Arena or It Is What It Is with Cam and Mace, they're covering topics that initially, when there was a bias and it was dismissed as just gossip or not relevant to the sports. So that blocks you at times from being able to get funding and expand your business. So funding, which I'm sure everyone can relate to independently in this space, doing that is always a big obstacle. So
Now, for those that aren't aware, how long have you actually just been, doing journalism in terms of like writing and things like that?
let's see, since about 2008, 2009.
Okay, so you're right around the same time I actually picked up the typing, because but I would say I didn't go to school for communications. I actually have a marketing degree, but I never thought ever I'd want to type or write or anything like that. And all of a sudden now I'm out here writing stories off the top of my head, like 250. I started at 250 words, and then I like expanded to, being able to write like 1,000 word pieces and stuff like that.
Do you feel like your marketing background helped? Because I do. I feel like for me, I knew what topics to kind of hone in on and how to shape them. But do you feel like it helped you in your writing?
I feel like it helps me, and then sometimes I feel like it hinders me, because I'm just like, okay, good, I know what I want to talk about, but then sometimes what I want to talk about doesn't necessarily match up with the marketing mind that should be what I talk about. So that's where I kind of have the internal struggle sometimes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but I want to ask, as far as overcoming different biases and things like that, what are some of the things that you've how did you kind of overcome some of those different biases in the business, being a Black woman in the sports and entertainment business?
I think one of the things I learned early on is the ability to, one, know what your core principles are. So understand them, understand where they might differ from within the industry or within certain sectors, and areas that you're willing to compromise on and the areas that you are not. I have no problem with saying no, thank you. And at times that may have cost me access or perhaps a platform or money, but you have to, I feel like, toe the line as far as your integrity and set the standard for where you want to go. And sometimes that can be hard. I'm not saying that's an easy choice to make, but you have to make it for yourself and be comfortable within yourself in those decisions moving forward.
Right, definitely understand that. What is there someone that actually you could say is maybe kind of helped you or guided you along in the industry along your way? And can you speak to just the power of mentorship in the business or the entertainment and sports industry, and trying to make your way there?
I think mentorship is important in every aspect of life. I wrote a book based off of my website called Post Game Pass, Access to the Life. And one of the things I talk about that is key in sports, but I feel it's key in business and in every aspect, is to have a mentor, or even the concept of apprenticeship. The idea that sometimes you learn as you go by shadowing or helping a person that is already in that position. So I'm not saying you have to do exactly what someone tells you to do, or do the exact same things or the exact same path that they had, because that's not always possible. But there are benefits to learning their story and hearing the areas, the missteps that they had, the areas that they wish they would have had more knowledge about, so that you don't have to make those mistakes. You're going to make plenty of your own mistakes, but leadership gives you a sort of balance, someone to check in with, to help you remain calm when you do face those inevitable obstacles, and just to, learn how to navigate, or simply be there for someone to vent to that understands the position that you're in. Because let's be real, sometimes your friends and family may not relate to the problems that you are dealing with within a specific path as it relates to a career.
Absolutely correct. Correct. Yes, definitely mentorship is key. I will say I probably wish I did have a mentor along the way. I kind of never did. But hey, yeah, definitely it's very, very powerful to have mentorship and to look towards mentorship as well.
You know, equally important that I found seeking a mentor out. And I know it's hard. You don't want to go to someone and say, hey, can you mentor me? But one of the things that I learned early on, some of my mentors, because I've had several along the way, and is that you provide value too. So one of the things that you deal with when you are interacting with someone that is more experienced or had more time is that they may not um, have a relationship to what is currently happening or what is happening just beneath the surface because they're dialed into other areas. So you can provide that value to them. There are ways too that you are valuable and knowledgeable for them. So I think that it also can be an even exchange. And sometimes you just have to, seek people out and reach out to people. That's one of the things I think is important is don't be afraid to, or not even afraid, but don't think that just because maybe one person doesn't respond, another person may not, or that you can't get mentorship from books or people sharing their story as well.
Got you. There's definitely a lot of advice to be had out there. It's just a matter of will people listen and actually apply it as well. But
Yeah.
what is some of the what is, there are plenty of people that want to do the things that you do in terms of being, in sports and entertainment and all those different avenues that you have been in. Like, I read up, I saw the Ebony, Ebony, I saw that the Essence Festival, all that stuff. I saw that. But what is some of the best advice you would have for anyone that is interested in maybe following your path?
I think one of the biggest advantages right now of social media and the internet is that you can create it for yourself. I think now we see the industry is changing, media is changing. If you look at a lot of the hosts and journalists that have been on traditional media, they all have YouTube channels. They're all doing YouTube shows. So, they're trying to be like Mike Patton right now. I mean, but seriously, they are coming to areas that are totally free and accessible to where you are now. I think that it is imperative that you take advantage and start creating a brand for yourself. If you aren't starting off, interviewing the biggest stars, find your niche. Are there local sports stars, entertainers, or whatever that you can talk to? Is there an angle that you can take that is unique to you? I think it's all about branding yourself, and then those other outlets will come. And then you might find, do you even want to go to them on a full-time basis? Because all of the action, all of views are here on YouTube and social media. So I say build your brand, build it outside of it, and you are that much more prepared should you want to go inside.
Yeah, definitely. When you mentioned that, the first thing I thought of was Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Facts. Yeah. But I mean, you look at it, and right now, as far as streaming goes, YouTube gets more streams per month than all of the other streamers.
Hmm.
So it's just something to think about. Change the way that you think about it. More people are watching YouTube on their TV than ever before. So
Yeah.
you're right there.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely with YouTube TV being out there too, people watching that also. Um,
Shout out
but
to Live.
what's that?
I said, shout out to Facebook Live. Yeah, I
There,
mean, all
there
of
we
it.
go.
You have it right there. So
Right. So I want to thank you, of course, for kind of giving us a journey, or taking us along your journey to where you got to how you got to where you are currently. But of course, I want to allow people to get to know you just a little bit more. And that's where the speed round comes in. We've got 10 random questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. What is your favorite movie?
I don't have just one, but I'll give you one of my favorites, but I don't believe in limited, so I like all my options. Boomerang.
Boomerang. Yeah, definitely. That was a movie of the first movie I saw or can remember of just seeing successful Black people owning companies, moving around, things like. No, I know the story of the movie,
Mhm.
but that part was a story that gets missed in the whole concept of the movie.
Absolutely.
Um, favorite actor or actress?
Ooh, gosh. I mean, of course, I love Denzel. Like
Hmm.
everyone, just there's something about an artist that comes from theater, I believe, that gives rich and layered performances. And we've seen him, do so many different types of roles. I know there's a Denzel archetype at this point, but we'll start with Denzel.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Denzel Washington museum at one day. I would not be surprised.
I mean,
Um, favorite interview that you've done?
oh my God. Ooh. Ooh.
Want me to come back to that one?
Yeah, because I don't know. It will probably be one where I like when I get to have extended conversations. So,
Mhm.
doing a press junket is a little different from doing a red carpet, which is different from doing a sit down interview or something like that. But that's a great question. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, we'll come back. What's the worst movie you've ever watched?
The worst movie I've ever watched.
Hmm.
Oh, wow. There's
I kind
got
of
to
flipped the question.
Yeah, there's got to be one. I don't know. There's got to. I mean, I'm sure there's one. The worst.
I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people saying the Joker 2 movie is pretty bad.
See, I have not seen that.
I
I
haven't
think
either.
people might have felt duped. They didn't realize it was going to be a musical, but they were very clear that it was going to be a musical. Not
Mhm.
sure. Oh, I don't know what the worst movie I've ever seen is.
Got you, got you. If you could have dinner with one person, dead or alive, to pick their brain, who would it be?
Dead or alive. Maybe Prince or Michael for Strictly Going Deceased. I'd love
Mhm.
to hear about, what they really thought of different aspects of the industry and their battles that they had to go through. I'd love to hear about the battles that they went through to perform and how their addiction started. I think that would be interesting.
Yeah, I would love to hear about Prince talk about his legendary basketball games. That's what I would love to hear.
I definitely would want to talk to him about that. I would want to
Yeah.
talk to him about why he felt the need to don the Jamie Starr alter ego and produce all the time stuff, which all of those songs could have gone on 1999. Yeah, there's lots of
Hmm.
things to ask about.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was multifaceted and also multi-talented. Um, your best childhood memory?
Ooh, ooh. You're asking good questions. See, this is the thing though. I don't It's like there's not one. There's
Hmm.
things and periods. Like birthday parties were really a thing for me. I really liked birthday parties. I really like I would go to a friend's house in the summer and like swim all day. They had a pool and they would have barbecues. I don't know, like family time, Christmas. Christmas is always a good one. Presents, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
guess stuff that is around like family rings and stuff like that. Those are good times.
Got you. Got you. What song is dominating your playlist right now?
Currently, ooh, um, let me see. So I can give you an accurate answer.
Got you.
Um, let's see, what's on my most recent list? I have been delving into the 80s a lot lately. Don't know why, but I've been on an 80s like R&B kick.
Mm-hmm.
So really into um Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis's production from that time period. So a lot of stuff on from their catalog I've been listening to. I listen to current stuff too, but that's
Mm-hmm.
been my kick for like the past 2 or 3 weeks. So a lot of SOS band, Human League, The Time. That's why, I mentioned
Mm-hmm.
that, some other things, early Janet, Sherelle.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Early Janet. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, the magic they made.
Right.
Uh all right. Who is your favorite artist?
It's Prince and Janet, like male, female, Prince,
Mm-hmm.
Janet. Prince and Michael, like, were hand in hand when I was younger, but Prince, we're talking rap, you know, Tupac, we're talking alive, because a lot of these people seem to be deceased. Snoop Drake. I know that's not
Mm-hmm.
popular to say. I am all about the West. Go Kendrick. I was right there because they not like us. But if I'm being honest, for the 2000s, early 2010s, there was a lot of Drake in there. So
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't want to say that, but it is true. But I am definitely
I'm being
rocking with
honest,
Kendrick
but
on
West West, y'all. You see, I got the West Coast whatever shirt on right there.
here. Got you, got you. Yeah, definitely, definitely. Definitely, when Drake first came out, everybody was listening to Drake at that point. But yeah, I am a huge Kendrick Lamar fan, though. I am a huge Kendrick Lamar fan. Favorite vacation spot for you?
Ooh, um, I really love Mykonos in Greece.
Where's that? Okay.
Greece. Really, really love Mykonos. Um, Cabo is good in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Mykonos and Cabo right now. Bahamas is
Okay.
up there too, but yeah, Mykonos.
I'll tell you one place that you may want to try. I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but Toronto in the summer.
Oh, for Carabana, like I have a friend who has been trying to get me to go for a very long time. I haven't been, but
Yeah, I didn't go for Carabana, but I did go for in June. It was the little Italy Fest was up there, and then
okay.
that was 20 blocks of partying, drinks, dancing, everything.
And
And
good
then there was
food.
also, oh yeah, definitely good food. Good food from
Okay,
all
because I'm
across the
a
world.
foodie, so I need the food
Oh,
aspect as well.
oh, the other thing they had up there that weekend was Brunch Fest. Brunch Fest was
Okay,
there.
you're talking my
Yes.
language. That's what I'm talking about.
Yep. And there was a Jamaican restaurant up there too, as well. That was awesome.
See, I bet they had the slamming Caribbean food. I bet the West Indian food was on fire.
It was great.
Love
It
it.
was great. Yeah, I'm ready to go back now. But
See?
speaking of food, what's your favorite food spot?
Um, again, you want to limit me. It's so hard.
Food
I don't
spots, then. Food spots.
I mean, where you just mentioned it. I'm a tacos girl. I love Jamaican food, so we
Hmm.
can go to town on that. I also surprisingly really love a good salad. So take me to, if we're going out, good salads, good tacos, or a good Caribbean treat. I'm a foodie. So yeah.
Hmm. Okay. All right.
Sushi. Yeah.
Well, I like one thing that I do like that I don't eat quite as much of, but I wish I ate more of is sushi. Love some sushi.
Sushi. Where did you go eat when you were in LA? Did you go to any place that stood out
Um,
to you?
let's see, where was the sushi place? Went to one sushi place. Went to what was it? My daughter, me and my daughter went to a Korean corn dog place.
Okay. Korean
Yeah,
food
that
is
was
big
actually
out
good.
here. Barbecue, yeah. LA is known for our not our barbecue, because obviously we're not, you know,
Mhm.
Memphis or Kansas City or something like that. But Korean food, we have a lot of Korean food out here, veggie spots, smoothies, stuff like that. So you had some good
Yeah.
sushi. Okay. Korean corn dog.
Yes.
What was that like?
I mean, it was good. Had the little what, I can't remember what it was. It was good though. It was really, really good. I can't remember exactly what it was I had, but it was like hot and kind of a little tangy. It was
Okay.
really good. It was
We
really
had
good.
some
I was like, yeah,
in
I'd go
there.
back.
Okay.
I would go back. I remember. I think I've still got the address of the place. So yeah, I would definitely go back. It's off of South. I think it's near. Uh, it's downtown. I just can't remember exactly what the name of the street was, but yeah, it was downtown.
Probably near K Town.
Probably,
Koreatown is
probably.
not that far from town. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, it was a blast. But yeah, speed round is over. You're off the hot
Okay.
seat, so no more asking or no more having to answer singularly on questions. You can jump off the hot seat now. So we have reached the end of the show, and I want to thank you, Ms. Jill Munroe, for coming on the show, telling us about your story, how you got to where you are, starting from growing up in Ladera Heights to now being the accomplished producer, host, journalist, anything you've definitely done it at an excellent, excellent level. I want to thank you for coming on the show. And if you want to tell anyone where they can find you on social media, anything you're working on, whatever you want to tell, the floor is yours.
Amazing. Well, thank you for tuning into this. Thank you again, Mike, for having me. If you want to know more about me, my website, jillmunroe.com. I'm right here on YouTube at Stiletto Jill. You can check out some of my recent interviews with the cast of Shrinking, Jason Segel, Jessica Williams, the cast of Power, a couple of others, Ariana DeBose. She is a new film that came out on Prime. So yeah, and I'm at Stiletto Jill on Instagram, X, Twitter, TikTok, all of the things. So thank you for tapping in. I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. And of course, if you don't know me, I am the host of the show, Mike Patton. Of course, you're going to like this next part. You can find me on the artist formerly known as Twitter. Yes, Word to Prince, one of the greatest artists of all time. The artist formerly known as Twitter at Mike Patton 82. That's MikePatton 82. Of course, on Instagram and Threads, you can find me there at that's THA, not THE, _ general _ MP. You can find This Woman Works on all listening platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, you name it, we are there. And we are also on the Mike Patton Network on YouTube. I want to thank you all for tuning in to this episode of This Woman Works. We're out. Peace.